I've been on my grind just to live it out. Say what's on your mind just to hear it loud. Everybody knows me, really that's the old me. Going through some changes right here and now. I've been on my grind just to live it out. Say what's on your mind just to hear it loud. Everybody knows me, really that's the old me. Going through some changes right here and now. Drove on the road that normal people don't take, full of surprises, there may be no escape.
And we are back with another episode of the Dope Individuals Only podcast. I'm Erik. I'm here with another dope individual. Please introduce yourself.
Lathia Marquez. A lot of people that do know who I am. I was Sleepie Da Kid.
I was
Sleepie Da Kid. I had to upgrade it a little bit.
Niggas is grown men now. Yo, I wanna say thank you for coming up here, wanting to be a part of the show, everything like that. For the people who have been watching, you guys know that we've been going through a whole lot of shit over here. But for the motherfuckers who just joined, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everybody that's making this possible. So I want to jump right into it. How's life? Because the past couple years of your life has been a rocky road. Yeah. So, I mean, if you would give people a little bit of what you've been, what you about, how you got to where you are today, you know what I mean, and what you're all about today, because, I mean, the name changed, so, I mean, I'm pretty sure the man changed as well.
I figured I had to make growth, not just with the name, but as myself, like.
Makes sense.
I came a long-ass way, bro.
Make sure we're talking.
I came a long-ass way, so, like, that dude you knew that was all in the streets doing all the extra shit, now I made a little progress. It's just, my daughter's my focus, bro. My daughter and trying to do this future shit, like.
The kids will fucking make you mature, bro. That's one thing. Even if you don't do it as soon as they're born, at some point you realize, like, this shit's bigger than me. This shit's bigger than me. How old's your daughter now?
My daughter's about to be 10 real soon. And let me rewind.
You making me feel old.
Yeah, let me rewind for people a little bit. I just did almost 10 years in prison.
Okay.
So I've been gone damn near my daughter's whole life.
How old are you now?
I just turned 31 last week.
Damn.
Yes, I've been gone since I just turned 22 and came home at 30. But you gotta remember, before that, I just did almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So.
That's the last time, correct? I'm gonna ask you directly, like, as somebody who cares.
Yeah, this. The difference is, a lot of people be like, damn, what changed? Because when you got booked, you had a daughter. My thing was, once she was able to have her own mindset.
Right.
In the beginning phase, where like, she's 1, 2, 3, I could be like, Daddy's gonna be home soon. That 1 year she hit me, she's like, no, when soon, Dad? November, December?
Yeah.
I said, damn, December?
December?
I said, damn, I don't even know. I'll be home soon, though. So I really had to.
She was gonna hold you accountable.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like she got to the point where she's like, nah, nigga, you can't just blow smoke, and I'm gonna make sure that you stay on the straight and narrow, because I need you here just as much as I want you to be here.
And I kind of got blessed, because I seen, like, I'm gonna speak about my uncle. My uncle did almost 20. Him and my cousin, his daughter, they bump heads. I got blessed to where me and my daughter is close as hell, because a lot of people think you go to jail, that parenting shit stop. It don't. I was still sending money home. I was still making phone calls every day.
From prison?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
bro, I didn't even know that was possible. I know, like,
it's kind of not.
It probably wasn't much, but the effort is what matters.
I'm talking about the things you do kind of aren't prison regulation, but
yeah,
do what I had to do to make sure things were straight from my part.
So what made you want to send things home, send money home and things like that, when you don't even make much in there? You know what I mean?
I figured just to show her that I care enough to show that when I'm in a space where it should be only about me,
right?
It's not. It's about my baby.
That's what's up, bro.
So
I know a lot of motherfuckers that ain't behind somebody's walls or bars and ain't doing nothing. So I think the very fact that even though you was somewhere where you was kind of tied up, you was tied up,
yeah.
You was still making the effort to show, like, yo, I give a fuck, and when I do get out of here at some point, it is gonna be about you. You know what I mean? And the focus. So what has this whole process taught you? Like, what was the most valuable lesson that you learned through this whole process? Because you don't get the time back.
Yeah,
you don't get what you lost, but you learn something in that time that you have to just sit there and do nothing.
I learned that because I have a big ass family. So you always look at it like this. I learned that, like,
people.
Yeah, I learned that people will love you. You got a lot of love behind you, but nobody's gonna give a fuck the way you give a fuck. especially in there. My first couple years I was tripping in and out the hole, fighting all the time and shit. But when you in that hole, you realize like you got yourself. That's it. No one really gives a fuck. Niggas could care and love you, but nobody's gonna give a fuck about you and yours like you do.
Right. And what that put the realization like I gotta be out to be able to truly handle mine the way that I want to. Yeah,
to get a little deeper. I remember it was my second last year in there. Okay. My daughter, her mom found a letter, and it was kind of like at that time she might have been like 7 or some shit like that. Found a letter was the equivalent of a suicide letter where she was kind of planning on killing herself.
Your daughter?
Yeah. Wow. So I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna fuck with nobody. So I'm on the phone, I ain't get the phone call, but I called out. They ain't called me, but I called out and they told me about it. I ain't gonna fuck nobody. I'm on the phone balling. You know, in jail you really want to cry and shit, but I ain't even give a fuck. I'm like, if she were to do that, ain't shit I could do. And I'm a reason for that. I'm the reason she feels the way she do. And that really opened my fucking eyes, bro.
Wow, that's deep, bro. That's deep. I mean, I never had that opportunity, you know what I mean, to like even talk to my dad behind somebody's walls or anything like that. But to know that you're dealing with something and you can't actually deal with it in the way that you need to, I understand why that shit would light a fire under your ass. So, you know, what's that like now that you're out and you got this opportunity, you know what I mean? How are you seizing it now?
What I do now, and this ain't taken from anybody else, any race or none of that, but my daughter's our complexion. She's a brown skinned girl, so she's dealing with hates her hair, hates her complexion. So I make sure I build her up and let her know she's beautiful and help her build her confidence and shit like that.
Empower her.
Yeah, I tell her she's beautiful every day. So she get older, she could really know it and believe that shit.
Not only that, at some point she's gonna be dealing with men. You know what I mean? And to show her, this is how you're supposed to be treated. This is how you're supposed to be respected as a woman. And any man that don't treat you this way, kick that nigga to the curb.
Bro, I set the bar so fucking high. Nah, look, watch. When you see, we gonna do some family type shit. When you see my daughter, bro, she will go to the car and just wait. Cause I told her, if nigga don't open the door for you,
stand there.
Yeah. So she would just wait. My mom was like, "What is she doing?" I said, "Watch this." I open the door. She get in. She like, that's right. I set the bar high.
Yes. Yo, they're queens. They're queens.
Exactly.
I got 2 sons and I got 1 daughter, and I'm a sucker for the girl. I'm a sucker for Elizabeth. But like, my biggest thing is like, I seen what my wife had to go through as a teenage girl to becoming a woman and trying to figure out like how to navigate these things, you know what I'm saying, with like dealing with past boyfriends, being talked to a certain way, being treated a certain way. And the one thing I want my daughter to realize is like, yo, I got power. And you being somebody from the outside, a man, you can't take this from me. You know what I mean? I'm way more valuable than whatever you think I am. And I think that's important, like especially as black men, because you probably didn't grow up with no dad.
No.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like even as black men, we didn't have fathers, let alone little girls having to go into a world where they have to learn how to deal with men and didn't have a man to teach them how to be treated. So, bro, that's beautiful. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that you're doing that, because she's not only gonna get that from you and know how to carry herself, but she's gonna be able to empower some other little girl who ain't got a dad. And it's way bigger. Even though it's like, oh, I'm just doing this for my daughter, bro, it's way bigger than that, because she's gonna take that and she's gonna carry that into her everyday life. And I
learned, like, I've always had a good mindset, always been a good dude, but I was involved with some bullshit, right? So I look at it like,
that's a part of growing.
The nigga I was, I'll be pissed off when my daughter brings someone home like that.
You don't want to bring a nigga home like me.
Yeah.
What movie was that from? You don't want to bring a nigga home like me.
I remember one time I'm getting ready to go to the studio at your crib and all that, right? Okay. Back then.
It was a minute ago.
I had just got into some shit where I'm in the streets and all that. My car had got shot up. I remember, and I respect it now. I was mad then, but I respect it now. Your wife seen that car, she was like, "You're not getting in that motherfucker." She like, "You not getting in that shit." Like,
Wait, are you talking about the car we drove?
The green joint. Yeah, she like, "Nah, you're not getting in that joint." I'm like, now where I'm at, I'm like, yeah, that's a good girl. That's the type of shit a nigga need to check certain shit.
She created a lot of fucking issues for me. My wife had spoiled, like, at least in my brain, my wife had spoiled so many opportunities for me because the person that she is. But like you said, now down the line, there was a lot of chances she had where she really showed she was the only person really paying attention to what I was doing. And that's not to say like getting in that car with you would have been a bad idea. I don't know how it would have played out, but I am saying that like a lot of the time when people are telling you shit you don't want to hear, it's probably best that you listen. Mm-hmm. I will say that much because, you know, people have told me shit all throughout my life of don't do this, don't do that. And it was all of just trying to protect me from something that they had a bad feeling about or they experienced. And of course, I'm gonna go out and do what the fuck I want to do. It's my life. Even if it's to drive it off a motherfucking cliff, it's my life. But at the same time, it's like sometimes that advice you don't want to hear is the advice that you need in that moment. And a lot of us are oblivious to that shit because we got our own. We all think that we got it all figured out. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you had your instances like that in life where you're like, man, fuck that nigga saying.
Yeah.
Fuck what that nigga saying.
Instances, that was the majority of my fucking life. Like, fuck.
I was a bad kid too. I mean, I never got into nothing where I've never even been in a pair of handcuffs, but
it's a blessing.
It's a part of growing though. Like the fuck ups, that's where you learn the most is in the mistakes, not in the getting it right. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that shit's luck that you get it right. You know, and there's been plenty of times where like I do feel like I was lucky, but I also didn't make as many mistakes, and now when I get into certain phases in life, I don't know how to always handle it because I haven't had the opportunity to fuck up so much. So that sounds like bragging, but that's some real shit. I'll be 100% honest. There's times where I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm just sitting there looking lost. You know what I mean? How has your perspective changed, like on life in totality, from going from your humble beginnings to jail, watching your daughter grow up without you, to being out and having the opportunity to not make up for lost time, but really use this time wisely?
I'm adjusting as much as I can, but literally, like, it's crazy. When you younger, certain shit you'll laugh about and be like, oh, that'd never be me. I come home, let's go to the topic I was talking about, like, I was having issues adjusting, being around people. I'm still on jail shit.
What do you mean? What do you mean as in issues?
Like being around crowds of people, I get all jittery and shit. Okay. Or even like something simple in jail like this. In jail, you're not doing this. You don't sit under the table because if someone comes,
you can't get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm still finding myself. I'm in restaurants like this and shit.
Sitting in the chair side.
Yeah, my daughter like, what you doing? I'm like, I don't even know. So I go to the doctors and shit because I was having like trembling and shit like that. So my grandmother like go to the doctor. Them motherfuckers like, yeah, you got PTSD, you got depression and anxiety and shit like that. And yeah, that's when I found out. I'm like,
how do you deal with that? I'm pretty sure the prison system does that shit to people every single day. Right. How do you navigate getting through something that you didn't even know you was going through?
I get in my mental space. Like they have prescribed me some pills and shit like that, but I don't advise this. If people need pills, take your shit. But me, I weaned away because it was like it was helping when I was using them, but when I missed a day or two, it made my thoughts worse.
Okay.
Like I literally had thoughts like, yo, go do this shit, go do. You know what I'm saying? Like it make my shit worse. And I'm like, nah, I don't want that.
So it's either like stay on it and be okay, but but let you miss a day. You know what I mean? You could fucking backtrack on all the progress that you just made.
Exactly, depending on what you on, or depending on the person.
Did it make you like numb? Do you feel like it made you numb to certain things? I read about people taking like these prescriptions for like depression, PTSD, and they're not having as much anxiety, but it also takes an element of their personality away. Is that something that you were dealing with?
I think whatever, I don't want to say what it was because I don't want the motherfuckers be on our ass. Yeah. But I'm more of a mellow dude, so the shit, it just happened. I'll be like this all fucking day. I'll be this motherfucking smile. I'll be like, yeah. Some motherfuckers just got knocked out over there. I'll be in that bitch like this. That shit just had me overly happy at everything.
Yo, man, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy. You got knocked out, bro? My fault.
Yo, man. If I could have done something, I would have did so. Nah, but I mean, at least you have enough self-awareness to be like, I don't need that. I know I'm dealing with shit, but I got to figure out a different way. So what are you doing now in place of taking the medicine that they gave you to help with the PTSD and anxiety and stuff like that?
Other coping shit that worked for me, like spending time with my daughter, and I spread the love because my daughter's mom, since I've been incarcerated, she had 3 other kids, but they love me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be with my daughter, I'll be with them, go to the studio, shit that just
makes you feel alive.
Yeah.
Being around kids to do that too.
Yeah,
bro,
I love kids.
They really teach you to enjoy everything in life because I mean, they ain't got shit to worry about yet.
Yeah, and people might judge me for this. Love my daughter,
Fuck
love the
them.
kids, but they could be little assholes, bro. Some days you'll wake up, you be like, what the fuck?
Yo, kids would do that to you. I was talking about this. About like what I love and hate about kids, like how honest they are. Like these motherfuckers will tell you like if you stink.
Oh
like,
yeah,
right
yeah.
like that, like yo, you smell bad, like right off the rip. No, it don't matter if your mama's sitting at the table or they gonna get their ass whooped for it. They gotta let you know what it is. But then there's also that aspect to them is like, yo, man, I respect the fact that you giving me the real right now.
Exactly.
A lot of niggas let me walk around here smelling,
Yeah.
and you was the only person to look out. So that's what's up. I definitely think being around the kids is very, very helpful because it brings back that youthfulness. They want to play.
And that's what kind of changed my, like, once I started putting more music out there, what kind of changed my sound, I would say. I would be, when I was gone, my mom or whoever wanted to play my shit for my daughter. You know, a lot of them videos either was crazy or raunchy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, I want some shit that my daughter could actually listen to. Like, something that
fuck with, yeah.
she could promote.
So you're starting to create in a more positive light so that way everybody can enjoy shit that you create.
For the most part, because it's still, if I'm telling,
I mean, you're not gonna get rid of it all.
yeah, but if I'm telling my story, a lot of it came from some negative shit. So if I'm like, I'm gonna always tell my story, and some of them shits ain't gonna be too,
ain't gonna be lighthearted.
Yeah.
But I also think that shit's necessary, even for her to really understand. You don't get all of me without understanding this part of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have songs like that too, where I try to share with my kids, and they're like, I don't want to hear this. They're like, cause you don't understand it yet, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I just gotta let you know right off the rip. But a couple years down the line, it's gonna click for you. Like, wow, he was through some shit. And not only that, they actually might get a little bit of empathy for you because they realize like it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, and you didn't leave because you wanted to leave.
And what I'm a firm believer, like, I keep it in her age bracket. She's 9 turning 10, but I don't lie to her either. Like, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, daddy was out here shooting people and shit like that. Nah, but I'm like, daddy was like, I was bad. Matter of fact, that was a reality check too. I go to the hole one day. I got one phone. You get like one phone call a month or some shit like that.
Damn.
So I call her. She's like, why you can't call me no more? I was like, you remember when you get in trouble for school and I tell you to stop being bad? Like, I said, daddy was being bad, so I had to go on punishment. She was like, you tell me to stop being bad, so why don't you? I'm like, that's simple as shit, bro.
Yeah. Comebacks out the ass, bro. And in that moment, you probably like, yo, I'm your father. Like, who the fuck you talking to? But it's a reality check, like you said, where it's like, she got a fucking point. She got a point. My son pulled one of those on me. I remember the one day his uncle came through, and I was downstairs playing video games. So I opened up the door, welcome into the house, and I went back downstairs. That's Diana's brother. We cool, you know what I mean? He's family, but like, I also, when he comes over, typically he's spending time with his niece and nephew, his sister. So I kind of give him that, and I go back downstairs. My son he gonna come downstairs, spin my chair around, talking about, we have guests here. Like, okay, I know your uncle's here. I opened the door. Yeah, but you tell me that when guests are here, come downstairs. So turn off the game and come. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, who the fuck you talking to?
Yeah, part of you want to be like, bro.
Yo, like, this my motherfucking house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what? You got it. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna abide by the same rules I place on you. I hold myself accountable. So I get up, I go upstairs. My mom come last week. We outside chopping it up. Me and my mom, we laughing and stuff. He's like, Dad, can I play video games? I'm like, nigga. Remember that one time your uncle came over? He was sick, dog. Sick. I'm like, this is what happens when we got guests. If you gonna force me to come upstairs, you gotta live by it too. He was not happy because he didn't get no video game time during the week.
The shit I was gonna say earlier though, bro, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Not even on no sentimental shit. So, hate to talk about when I was gone, but that was the majority of my life. Fucking, we had to do a report in there. Cause when I was there, I was doing everything. Culinary class, carpentry class,
that's what's up.
Business, I was doing everything.
I didn't know they still offer classes and shit.
It depends where you're at. Like my first 4 years, cause to be exact, I did 8 years.
Okay.
8 years and some change. But my first 4 years, I was tripping. I was still on full gang time. My last 4, I started falling back. I got sent to a minimum security.
Okay.
Where if you got a job, like I was there doing, I was taking care of the dudes that got life, that got dementia and shit like that. I was a caretaker in jail. So literally like, Shit, I lost track of what I was saying. What?
You was taking care of the life inmates that were losing their shit.
Yeah, so literally, once you get to a better, like a lower security, because I was in the maximums, there's more opportunities, more chances to do shit like that and all that.
Okay. So how long do you have to, like, okay, you did 8 years. If you would have came in on some, like, good behavior type shit, would they have, like, sent you over there, like, sooner than your last couple?
Yeah, if you write up free for, like, a year or two, they give you all them different type of opportunities and shit. Oh, that's what I was saying. So in one of the business class, they told us to pick someone you gotta do a report and shit on and shit like that. I don't know if I should still have that shit, but I wrote about you and your wife.
Oh, wow.
So it was about, because they was basically saying, like, a lot of us make excuses. I'm like, man, so I wrote about you and your wife, basically saying we grew up in the same neighborhood, this, that, and the third. You didn't choose the gangs. You wasn't out there shooting people and shit like that. We came from, you literally was right around the fucking corner. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I wrote the report saying, like, I admire what you doing, bro. No lie. Like, you doing your thing. You got, I know life got his behind the scenes shit, but you could have took the same route I did, bro.
Bro, I was not expecting that shit at all.
No lie.
I appreciate that. This nigga got me over here.
Dead ass, bro. I was writing that shit. I'm like, that's my guy, but we come from the same neighborhood, and that shows I can't make a fucking excuse, bro.
I appreciate that, bro.
Here. So what was the reason that made you choose him? Like, was the question or was the topic based off of who you grew around him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who you grew up around, your neighborhood, shit like that.
Wow.
And
yeah, I appreciate it.
No problem, my guy. Real shit.
I appreciate that. And thank you for stepping in. Yo, I was not expecting that. I'll speak to that for a second. Yo, it's really, really hard. And sometimes it feels like motherfuckers really don't understand. Even people like that are in my family don't understand the amount of things that I've had to self-teach just so I can have an opportunity that I wasn't privy to. You know what I mean? And I've done absolutely nothing but try to spread as much as I could and give back as much as I could, because I know how hard it is to get the information, to get the motherfuckers that'll share with you the jewels, so that way you can have an avenue other than what we're always faced with on a daily, you know what I mean? Allentown is not Chicago. Allentown is not North Philly, but it has its deficiencies, you know what I mean? The first time I was ever profiled by police, I was 16 years old walking home from school with a book bag on. You know what I mean? I look like I'm coming from school, and he's asking me, telling me I fit a crime and shit like that. I pray my son he's going on 9 years old next month, and I pray he doesn't have to deal with shit like that. And like, I work so hard so that way he doesn't have to, so that my daughter don't have to, my youngest son Isaiah don't have to, because it's hard enough just wearing the skin that we gotta walk around in. And regardless of what anybody tell you, there is an issue still going on around race. And it might not be as bad as it once was. We might be able to go take a piss in the same toilet or drink from the same, or sit next to each other in class. But it don't mean the education that we getting is the same as people who have the opportunity to pay for it. The same equipment we wear, and like a perfect example is fucking 3 years ago during the pandemic, they shut down all the schools. All the Bethlehem schools and all the Catholic schools around the area got all their laptops. It took Allen and Dira an additional nearly 2 months to get laptops for these kids to finish school. And they weren't even able to graduate. They graduated and they weren't even able to walk. Imagine working 4 years for something and not being able to walk. But then you got these schools in Bethlehem with a little bit more money. They can afford to get bigger venue spaces for these kids to be able to walk and cherish what they worked for. You know what I mean? Like, there's still a huge problem racially going on. And it's not, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the people, but it's damn sure the system that we live in. You know what I mean? And I say that to say, yo, be mindful of these things when you're interacting with people. Be mindful of the information that you're getting and you're giving, because you never know how it's gonna impact people. And me and Diana try to do our absolute best at just modeling what we want to see for the world, whether it's for our kids, whether it's for our community, whether it's for people who we don't even know is watching.
And that's what
thank you.
The same, no problem. The same shit you said, I used to always say, especially when I was going, like, Allentown by far ain't no Chicago. It ain't no Philly or none of that. But one thing I can say is like Philly, Chicago. You walk out there, just regular person, you could get shot. Allentown, no, you gotta go looking or be in the midst of shit.
Yes.
So I looked at it like, all them times I was in the studio or doing a video or whatever, like, we was in some shit. We probably get a shootout like every other week or something. Like, we was tripping back then. So all them times I was in the studio or doing other shit, I was actually away, both mentally and physically from the bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
you found like a sacred place.
Yeah.
It just, can you live in that space? That's always been a thing. Cause I've had opportunities. I mean, like you said, we grew up around the same neighborhood. We chilled the same, like, you know what I mean? I practically lived in Lily's house. You know what I'm saying? Always being over there with y'all, Greg, Muhammad living next door, Chris living up the block. So I had all the same opportunities to be involved in those things. And the one thing I always realized was like, I think there's something just a little bit more to this.
Before you get there, I gotta say that too. We gotta give a big fucking shout out to Muhammad Abdurrahman.
For sure.
My guy.
Shout out to Muhammad, man. Shout out to Muhammad. My man grew up on the same block as us. He ended up going to, Michigan State. Competed in the Final Four. I think he's balling overseas now.
Yeah, he's balling overseas now.
You know what I mean? This is somebody that we played fucking football with, go in the house, play Madden. I remember the first time I ever went in his house and played Madden with him, he was like, yo, watch this. Nigga caught a kick return, and I remember him playing with the Falcons, but I don't know who he put back there to kick return.
Yeah.
Honestly, he probably put Michael Vick, because he was so fucking unstoppable at the time. We're talking about 04. You know what I'm talking about? 04 Madden, where Michael Vick was, and you can put any player at any position. I'm pretty sure he put Michael Vick back there. And he goes right, he catches the ball, he goes right, and he runs back 20 yards and takes that shit up the left sideline. I'm sitting there, I'm like, this nigga's good at everything, bro.
Nah, he was one of them.
Yo, he was one of them
doing everything.
He's good at everything he did. And I'm sitting there like, and I was talented too. Like, I could play basketball, I could play football, but he made everything look so effortless. And I'm like, yo, I knew from a very young age. I thought the same thing about Greg. Unfortunately, he had bad knees. Yeah. But I'm like, these are two niggas that, like, they can go somewhere with sports. And Muhammad made it happen. And unfortunately, Greg had the issues with his health. But Greg was the only freshman that I knew starting varsity. You know what I mean? The only person, like, he looked like a man amongst boys. And it really showed, like, a certain aspect. I don't even know how we got off on a tangent like that, but yeah, shout out to my guys, bro. We're talking like hood heroes, bro. Hood heroes. We were the same age, and I looked up to these niggas just because how, like, naturally gifted they were. And it's like, you know what I mean? And
that's it. That's an example, though. Greg, that's my cousin. That's my brother, too, though.
Big shout out. I haven't seen Greg in a
minute. His mom raised me, so she called me her son, but that's my aunt. He ended up taking the route I took once. You know, some people have injuries and shit and be like, all right, I'm going to figure something out. He said, fucking, it came my route. You know what I'm saying? He got it together, though.
What do you say to those people, to those kids? You know what I mean? There's probably teenagers on here right now watching, passing through. What do you say to them when they got that opportunity to take a different route, even if it's going to be something that it doesn't go along with their family or their friends? You know what I mean? But we know how this plays out. We know there's only two options to live in a life in the streets. It's dead or in jail. So what do you say to those kids that's contemplating, is he gonna keep it real and stay over here, or is he gonna try to explore something else? What do you say to that?
Honestly, everybody gonna say the same shit. It ain't worth it. It ain't that. But the reality is, you not gonna switch that shit until you want it for yourself. That's what it comes down to. Your mom, your dad, anybody could tell you. Your kid could tell you whatever. But until you really want it for yourself first. See, I was in this toxic ass relationship before the lady I have now. Good girl. But she literally told me. I want to ask you about that.
All right. My man was funny as hell on this bird. I was like, my man's on a date, son.
Yeah. Fucker. So this toxic relationship I was in, but good girl. I won't shit on her. But she told me my whole thing when I was going. I'm like, Jada Lynn's my daughter. I'm like, Jada this, Jada that. She like, no disrespect to you or your daughter, but what if something happens to Jada? That means you just go back to your bullshit. You gotta want it for yourself too. Because if you're just doing it for your daughter, if something were to happen, God forbid, now that just means fuck myself and go back to my shit.
Yeah, it's not enough. You also gotta live for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So for all y'all out there that's contemplating, you know what I mean, what type of lifestyle you want to live, make sure that it's something that is aligned with what you actually want as an individual and for your future. You know what I mean? Whatever you're going through right now in life, everything is gonna pass. Whether it's good times, bad times, happy, sad, doesn't really matter. Everything, this too shall pass. So, you know what I mean? Be mindful of that when you're making these decisions for your life and for your well-being, of course.
And I want to elaborate, because a lot of people see this. The street shit ain't the movie shit, bro. Like, ain't no shame in my game. So without my first case was attempted homicide. This case was 3 counts of attempted homicide, right? So with that being said, people just look at, if you facing a murder, you're doing a lot of time. I was originally in jail for attempted homicide, came back. So when I was going to trial, I was facing 35 to the rest of my life, right? So this shit, it wasn't like the movies, bro. It ain't like the movies. Niggas ain't give me no lawyer. The hardest shit I ever had to do besides parenting was be my own fucking lawyer. I'm in that law library every day. I fought to 8 years. So it ain't the movies. You don't tell none of that shit. I still stand by that. Not telling shit, me personally, but that shit ain't like the movies. I ain't get money on my books. Niggas ain't visit me or none of that shit. That shit is just yourself. I didn't have no lawyer money. I ain't had no bail money, none of that shit. And I was heavy and high in the gang shit. I didn't get nothing, bro. I had myself fighting every day thinking like, damn, I just turned 22. When I come home, my daughter would be 10 times older than what the fuck I am right now.
Yeah.
I had to go in there and be my own fucking lawyer, bro. That's what opened my mind too. Like
that's impressive that you went in there and fought on your own behalf. A lot of motherfuckers can't even win with somebody who actually practices law. So to be going from 35 to life down to 8, bro, I gotta give you fucking kudos. I gotta give you kudos, bro, because motherfuckers, that's crazy. That's crazy. And why did you represent yourself instead of just going with like a court-appointed public defender?
Cause she kept just telling me every time I go in there, take this deal, take that deal, take this deal. And they'll be like, they quick to be like, yo, Mr. Rinker, you should take this one. It's only 20 years. Only 20 years? What the fuck you mean? You take it then. What the fuck you talking about?
For real. This is my life, bro. Yeah. I'm just a name on a paper to you. I always said that. I always felt like court-appointed public defenders was kind of like a conflict of interest. I always thought that because it's like, you motherfuckers work for the same people that's gonna be the one sentencing me to however much prison time I get, whether I get any at all. But you guys get paid by the same motherfuckers trying to lock me up. And the state gets paid for locking niggas up. So this is what I'm talking about, like a whole system change is what we're up against, and it's not necessarily individuals or, you know, people that just think of us a certain way because we have darker skin. This is a systemic problem because you can't have somebody who don't know nothing about my case walk in and tell me this is a good deal, and you're talking about 20 years of my life. Yeah. You gotta think, there's 24 hours in a day. I sleep 8 of them. I work 8 of them. Mm-hmm. I got 8 hours to live my actual life. If I'm lucky, I'll get 75 years out this motherfucker.
And we can't even count that 8 because realistically, like, let's just say the average person might work 30 minutes away. So you gotta take about an hour away from driving and shit.
You gotta cook, you gotta clean, you gotta, you know what I mean? You still gotta maintain your everyday life. If you got children or a woman in your life, you gotta maintain those relationships and making sure that you're doing your part for having them in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, the time doesn't seem like it's a lot, especially when you actually start to break it down. So when you just say, this is a good deal, 20 years, I'm like, get the fuck out.
And let me elaborate, because I know there's going to be certain people like, fuck out of here, he ain't killed nobody, so let's break this down. In PA, if you already have a record.
It's a Commonwealth state.
Yes, too. Commonwealth. It goes by a point sheet. So, since I already had attempted homicide before, when I came back, if I lost trial, I'm getting the max of everything. One attempted homicide, if you actually caught someone, is 20 to 40. One. Now, if you got another one, let's just say me, you, and there's another person here. If I shoot, I catch you, I didn't catch him. Still attempted homicide, but that one's about 10 to 20.
Just because
that one. Y'all two are the 20 to 40s that actually caught y'all.
Wow.
Now let's add all them shits together. If they run it wild. Yeah. Even if they run it together.
What is that, 50 years?
Yeah.
That's 50 years right out there. That's a lifetime. That's a lifetime. I know plenty of motherfuckers that never even seen 18. So 50 and then having to survive it in a maximum security penitentiary, that's a life sentence.
You know, also give me a little motivation, as nutty as it might sound. I was at one of the infamous jails in PA called Graterford. Yeah. I've heard of Graterford. That shit's like the streets. Everything is in there. Fucking guards, fucking drugs, everything. Everything is in that motherfucker. But when I was in there, I heard a lot of people. By the time I got there, Wallo was getting ready to get out. He was originally there, went to another one, but Wallo's about to get out. Gillian Wallo?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And I hear a bunch of people talking about him, and then I start hearing how he's doing out here. I'm like, man, this nigga did 20 years, and he doing his thing.
I think it definitely helps to have a cousin like Gilly.
Yeah, good point.
But I also got a lot of respect for Wallo because he's one of those people that walk out onto the streets with his phone and he talk to young niggas just standing out there waiting to make something happen for themselves on a street corner. And he's out there telling them like, look, man, everything you about to go through, I done experienced already. Let me tell you, it is not worth your time. It is not worth, and there is no benefit. And he lets niggas know, like, I got a leg up a little bit because who my family is, and I came out here and I'm taking the baton they gave me and I'm running with it to make sure that nobody else, as little people as possible, run the same route that I did. So I got a lot of respect for that because he could have easily been like, fuck y'all niggas, man. I did my time. I served my sentence. I'm about to get this money with my cousin, and I'm just gonna go about it like that. So I definitely have a lot of respect for the people like yourself, like Wallo, who come out and want to tell their story and their testimony to let people know, like, yo, this shit is not all that is hyped up to be. Because like you said, I went in there, I had to be my own lawyer. Motherfuckers was not sending me bail money. Lawyer money. People wasn't writing me on a regular basis. Shit, even I'm guilty of that. We communicated a little bit, but even my life got in the way of that, and I stopped writing. You know what I mean? So,
but me, everything go along. I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker wrote me one sentence. I'm like, damn, I came in his mind for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just like I said, like, because I'm going to switch the topic a little bit.
Yeah.
But just like I said, a lot of people, especially the new generation, they'll go in there and instantly crack, yeah, it was him, it was Josh, it was James. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I learned about anybody that's adamant about the not telling shit. It's like me, you, in a relationship. A lot of people clown like that. I believe in being faithful in my relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people be like, damn, how you do that? The not telling and the faithful shit, you gotta do it for yourself. Because the same thing is not, like, how can I put it? Motherfuckers be faithful, but then as soon as she pissed them off, they're like, man, fuck her. You gotta do it for yourself, because if she do piss you off, you know for yourself, like, damn, I wanna be faithful.
Right.
Same thing as not telling. The motherfucker be like the Tekashi shit. They gonna ride, but as soon as they do them wrong, you're like, I don't owe them no loyalty, fuck them. No, you gotta want the shit for yourself first, your own morals and your own
code.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you got to be able to be okay with yourself at the end of the day, even if it is at your own expense. But at least you get an opportunity to make that decision for yourself.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. Stand on the principles that you preach. You know what I mean? I myself, I'll tell you right off the rip, I never put myself in a position because I never wanted to be in a position where I had to decide for myself and someone else. So I always made sure, like, the company I keep, whenever I have friends like that died due to gang violence, and the moment I realized motherfuckers is in too deep is when I started to separate myself. Even if I didn't want to, even if they was like some like childhood friends. My best friend Kareem, RP to my boy. You know what I mean? He lost his life because of being a Crip. You know what I mean? Being involved in something neck deep, and it cost him everything. You know what I mean? And that was too big of a price tag for me to be involved in.
And
you know what I mean?
I'm in the process. Me and Hassan actually recorded it. Hassan Fetty the Don. He probably come on soon.
Shout out Fetty.
But I call it Little City Blues. And it's basically saying, like, because a lot of people like, well, Allentown, Little City. I like to say small cities got a complex. Because once I got upstate, I realized, I'm like, there'll be motherfuckers from like New York, Philly. This motherfucker might have just shot one person, might have just fought a couple niggas. I'd be like, damn, we was bugging. We got complexes in little cities, bro. We trying over, so just like RP to KK and everything, RP to Charlie and everything, like,
RP Charlie.
It don't matter how real or fake it is to the outside world if it's really shit in that person's head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all their perspective, their perception on what the fuck is going on. And sometimes that price tag, they're willing to pay for that shit. You know what I mean? There's always gonna be somebody willing to pay for it. The big thing is like, I think for me personally, it's really sad to see somebody who hasn't lived enough life be willing to lose it. Because I can tell you now, I was always like ahead of the curve, I would say, as far as like my peers, as far as mindset. But what I knew at 16, I ain't know shit compared to 28. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure by the time I hit 40, I ain't gonna know shit at 28 when I get over there to 40. You know what I mean? Life is always gonna fucking give you education. You know what I mean? That's what this whole thing is about. It's a learning process. So, you know what I mean? That's my biggest thing is I just don't want to see that because there's so much life to live. And this shit is beautiful too. You know what I mean? Life could be very beautiful, even if you come from shit, the mud. This entire existence could be beautiful, but motherfuckers gotta want it for themselves.
And it's like, I was just telling my lady, we're gonna get back to that, you just want the date shit.
Yeah.
I was telling my lady.
My man went on a date.
I was telling my lady, I'm like, cause she's like, you got a big ass family, and I'm like, yeah, but my thing with growing up, cause everybody think, oh, the gangs, cause you ain't got no family, this and nah, it ain't always that. But the reality is, you can have all the love in the world, but if you don't feel it, what the fuck does that mean? If you don't see it, you don't feel it, that means nothing.
Yeah, you just got a bunch of motherfuckers around you at that point.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of motherfuckers like that too, that just have people around just because they don't want to look a certain way. That's one thing I'll say growing up taught me is like, if you're not serving your purpose of being here, like if you're not bringing something to the table, and that's not to say everybody gotta have a reason to be in my life, but like, you definitely, if, at the very least, you gotta bring positivity and love. You know what I mean? That's the bare minimum. I don't need nothing from you. I don't need no money. I don't need no ride. But the least you gotta bring to the table is love and positivity.
Master P said in this one interview I was watching, that was my thing there when I was going. Interviews, I'll be reading the magazines and shit like that. I like all that. Or even when I was on a virtual visit, I'd be like, yo, go to YouTube real quick.
You believe in the law of attraction? What the law of attraction is?
Yeah, it's kind of like I read the book in there called The Secret.
Ah, you read The Secret?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Shit.
So
you ever read The Secret? You guys ever read The Secret? I was just talking about this on Instagram. Go ahead, continue.
It's like Master P said in his interview, he was like, because a lot of us be like, damn, I did this for this nigga. He said, man, don't nobody owe you shit but love. Simple shit. I'm like, damn, that's facts. I owe shit but love.
Motherfuckers, I have people in my family that do that. They'll be like, oh, I did this for you, I did that for you. Like, bro, I ain't ask you to. I didn't force you to either. You did that shit. You decided that you would do that for me. And when you made that decision, you shouldn't have done it with I'm gonna do this for him so I can get something from him later on. That's a bad way to go about maintaining relationships. That's not maintaining relationships. That's you using motherfuckers. That's you using motherfuckers to get a leg up in some way, shape, or form in your own personal life. Honestly, that's why I think I'm blessed in a lot of ways, is because like I genuinely want to see motherfuckers win. I want to see motherfuckers win. That's one thing. I want to see motherfuckers win because I know it's fucking hard, bro. I know it's hard, and I know it feels impossible in many aspects, because even if you want to win, you might not have the environment for you to win in. You might not have the motherfuckers around you that to help you win, because nobody does it by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So like, the last thing I want to do is stand in anybody's way to getting they dubs. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
man,
give out love and positivity. You know what I mean? Be that voice of reason for people. Be that reason why motherfuckers want to do a little bit better in their life. We got enough negative motherfuckers out here, for real. Bunch of negative Nancys. Tell me about the date though. Tell me, what was it like to go on a date for the first time in probably ever?
All right, so
was it ever?
I'm gonna say first time, probably in a while, cause I've been on, just like you, I've been on my own since like 15 type shit. But as an adult and everything like that, yeah, that was a little different. But it was like, I tried the other route when I first came home. I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't for me. I'm like, all right, let me date around. Let me try to be a little whore for a second. It's not me.
Get these rocks off.
Yeah, that shit ain't for me. So I ain't gonna lie, it seemed a little corny, but we kind of met on, all right, when I was in there, don't judge me, nobody. My craziest show I used to watch fluently, 90 Day Fiance.
90?
That was my shit, bro. So it's kind of weird, because we kind of met on some shit like that. I mean, someone plugged us in, someone I deal with,
right,
related to his baby mom folks, but we was talking for months online and shit like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm doing pretty good at work and shit. I'm gonna fly her the fuck out here.
Okay. She's from somewhere else.
She's originally from like Poconos and shit, but she was living out in Arizona for a minute.
Oh, okay. Hey.
So came out here, the vibes was, you know, you be scared. You be like, damn, what if this is a whole nigga? What if this is a whole nigga? Like, what if this?
What the fuck out of you, a catfish?
What platform did you actually hit her up on?
No, we actually we met through. Good thing it's different now. We got video chat and shit now.
Yeah.
So, but nah, I met her through someone I knew out here. Like, it's one of his baby mom's folks.
Okay, so you weren't going through like a Tinder.
Yeah,
okay.
no, but flew her out here, and I was scared and shit. And I'm like, damn, you got chemistry through the phone, what? But then in person, that shit was times 10. I'm like, because I'm used to in my relationships, and I don't mind if she's owning her spot. I don't mind being the major provider for my females, or whatever. But I'm used to that type of shit.
Right.
This one was different. She
got her own.
She want to do her own, got her own. She want to build a nigga up instead of like the relationship I was in before I went to jail, she the type that like, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go shoot this nigga. All right, baby, I'll be right here. Go ahead. This one to be like, nigga, no.
Yeah.
Nigga, get the
your
fuck
ass in the house.
Nigga, why do you have a gun, nigga? Like, shit. First and foremost.
Nah, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Yo, a strong woman on your side will keep you on the straight and narrow, bro. It'll keep you on the straight and narrow. You look at any successful man, bro. There's a strong woman standing right next to him. You look at anywhere in history.
So that was our first like physical date, but we've been talking for. I've been home almost 7-8 months now. So
I got a question. What was your first meal getting out? You better not say some fucking fast food, bro.
No, everybody say, and I hate this is what niggas. Not to be raunchy, everybody say it's in jail and I grind them up. They be like, yeah, my first meal, pussy. No, bro, what are you really gonna eat, bro? Be real, grow up. So, no, I ain't gonna lie.
I fuck with it.
It was a little bougie. My mom's. She made me like some steak and all this type shit. I forgot what the side dishes was, but I just remember it was steak. That's the
main.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta remember.
Hey,
fuck everything else.
That's not a bad coming home meal. I hate the people that like, I just stopped at the first place I could find. Like, nah, nigga, you better, you been eating some garbage for however long you was in there, bro. Go get some good eats. Go get some. I love to ask people that because like I just want to see where people's mindset is.
Right.
So that's what's up. You got a home cooked meal for your first meal home. That's what's up. What's the focus now?
Right now, like, I'm into my music, but realistically, right now, what I'm trying to do, because I learned the fucking key they never told us as youngins, get this credit the fuck right.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to build that up, and I eventually, in the long run, I want to fuck with real estate and all that. That's what I want to get into.
That's what's up, bro. Do you ever sign up for I know you're on Instagram, so do you ever get like those ads for like the master classes and stuff like that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I be scared though, bro.
You don't even gotta put your face on the camera.
No, I'm talking. I be scared. I just got a lot of this shit new to me, so I got like probably like 3 weeks ago. I'm thinking it's some lovely shit. I got on my Cash App for like $300-$400. I said, damn. The fuck? I'm thinking this. No, this is how they got me, bro. They like, nah, this shit real. Once a nigga say that, you know it's fake. But he like, bro, this shit real. They sent me 2 first. I'm like, oh, ain't nobody gonna send you money first if it's fake. Right. Nah, they took that 2 and my 4.
Oh, man. You got God.
God. I said, damn.
I don't send money to nobody, but yo, take hold of those free master classes. You know what I mean? Find some people that you don't mind listening to. Their information, you know, it clicks for you, and do their master classes. And they're almost always free. They're always gonna sell you something at the end. They'll be like, oh, I got this where you can plug and play with the numbers to figure out if this is a good deal or bad deal. That's totally up to you. But do the free master classes because that's the shit that'll jumpstart you, even if it's like on credit or if it's on real estate, if it's on how to fucking wholesale on Amazon. It doesn't matter. Do those free master classes. I tell everybody that shit. I participate in them when I find good ones. But these motherfuckers that have accomplished something that you're trying to do is gonna teach you something for free. Just like be mindful of that. Be like, he's taking time out of his busy ass schedule to teach me something. So value that because, bro, I done learned some fucking crazy ass information. Yeah, I could have found it on the internet, but you might not have the right question to ask.
You know what's crazy? A lot of motherfuckers sleep. When I was making sure I stayed in that library, bro. Reading heavy. Fucking, and no one would ever touch these books, but these shit got so much. The For Dummies books, bro. Motherfuckers sleep on that joint.
I've never actually read a For Dummies book.
Because people literally think it's for, someone like, damn, why you grab a book for a dummy? I said, what book is for a dummy?
Yeah.
What the fuck book is for a dummy?
You the dummy nigga.
All it does is take, because I literally grabbed the book that it sampled. This book might have had like 1,000 pages. This had 4. All it does is just cram all that shit in one space. That's it.
Into the dummies.
Yeah, that's it.
For Dummies book. Okay.
Yeah. Instead of saying TI type words, it'll come bring it.
What kind of books were you reading? I know you said For Dummies, like what were you learning?
Real estate, business, shit like that.
Okay.
Basically everything in that realm.
Did you read like any like novels, like about anything?
I kind of fell back.
I've recently gotten into books. That's why I'm asking questions about it.
I kind of fell back from the novels because, like, especially in jail, everybody want to read hood novels. I'm like, bro, I don't want to. Everybody in the hood novel.
Got here.
Yeah, everybody in the hood novel. Everybody got the baddest bitch. Everybody the biggest motherfucking. Right. No, there's like 30 niggas our height walking around in the hood. Like, fuck are they talking about?
So other than the For Dummies books, what kind of books were you reading? Like, did you practice like try to learn about any religions, anything like that?
Yeah, I studied into a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I looked at if I take what I feel is the best from each religious book, I can make the best version of myself.
That's fire. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
All right. I read a little bit of every religion because I looked at it as if I take the best, what I feel is the best from every book, I could find the best version of myself.
That's a fact. I think so too. I think the biggest problem with religion is everybody wants their God to be the God, and it's like I think we're missing the point here. I think like the message is the important part, and not necessarily like, is my God white? Is it black? Is, you know what I mean? And I think we get lost in that shit of just everybody wanting to be right. But if you take the most important parts, because I've heard Bible verses from friends, they're like, yo, that shit resonates. But I'm not a, you know what I mean? I'm not a Christian. I'm not Catholic. But I got a friend named Abu. He put me on to some shit that has to do with him being a Muslim and everything. And he also got some real valid shit that's applicable to my life. So take the information, use that shit, use it to your benefit. Only you are gonna know what you need at the end of the day.
None of us was there back in the day, so literally like, I look at shit like
gambling.
this, and yeah, this ain't shit on nobody's religion or none of that. But I look at it like, you just met me, right? If you try to tell my story, you tell my story, my daughter does, and the judge does. It's gonna be all crazy different type of stories, but you talking about the same person.
Yep.
For real.
And none of them are gonna coexist with each other, maybe except your name, height, and age.
Yeah.
I think the biggest part of that is I think humans take that message and kind of use it their own way and try to make sure people follow what they think.
On some like control shit. Like, yeah. And that's what we've realized like religion has been doing for the past couple hundred years, at the very least. Maybe forever, has been used to control people. Like, I mean, you hear some sick shit about like Catholicism, like their priests are always touching children and shit like that. Like, how you think that happens? You trust this man so much because he preaches something that you believe in, and they over here molesting your kids.
And I got a little heavy into like, I ain't gonna say I got Afrocentric. I ain't gonna say I'm super pro-black to where I'm out here fucking trying to whoop white people's asses and shit. But like, I looked at it like this while I was doing my history and shit like this. And I'm not shitting on Christianity or none of that, but how am I supposed to, me personally, if this man done did everything foul, done raped, done murdered, done did everything to my family, but he tell me this is right, because they brought Christianity over here.
Right.
How am I supposed to really believe that? When everything else they did, 98% of the shit they did was foul. I'm supposed to take heed to what you say about this now?
Yeah. I'm just supposed to forget what occurred before me.
Yeah, I'm supposed to trust that.
Yeah. And you also got to question the messenger too, like you said. Like, now this is valid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When were y'all living like this? That's the real question.
You just tried food poison me, now you cook me another meal. Now this is different. Bro, I don't believe that shit.
There's no poison. there's no poison. So I got a question. Tell me an embarrassing story, but it's funny. Like a funny, embarrassing story. It doesn't matter what it's about, when it's from. Something that's funny, but it's embarrassing.
Damn. That one's on the spot. I'm gonna have to come back to that one.
To come back to
that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that one for a second.
All right. So ponder that. Now, when you hit me up a while back to come onto the show, your main focus was wanting to advocate for mental health in the Black and brown community. Why is that important?
Cause a lot of us grow up special. I mean, I still be hesitant about hospitals and shit, but a lot of us be like, man, I ain't going to fucking hospital. I'll talk to my mom. I don't gotta talk to no fucking therapist.
Where's the Robitussin?
Yeah, we be too tough with this shit. We look at it like it makes you soft or makes you less of a man if you have mental issues. But as you get older, I realize like a lot of certain people that we labeled the crazy uncle or the crazy aunt, nah, they really was fucked up.
Yeah.
And we just
and we didn't pay no attention. That's
yeah. Go give Shirley a 40. We added to the shit. Aunt Shirley here, give her a 40. No, like
you remember E.T.?
Yeah.
Okay, E.T.'s a great example. So when we used to live on 15th Street, we used to throw these crazy ass parties all the time. My mom, I had the cool mom growing up. So like get-togethers, like I started drinking at like 14, and that's not a slight to my mom. Like my mom's philosophy was, I'd rather you do it in home where I can keep an eye on you than out in the streets with motherfuckers who don't got your best interest. But our house was the party house because we were allowed to do these things in the house. Well, E.T. was an alcoholic, and we knew he was an alcoholic. And even myself, you know, I'm guilty of it too. He's a grown man, he makes his own fucking decisions, but I aided in that, in making sure like he was always at these events when we throw these parties, because he knew how to have a good time. And then he moved away. A couple years ago, I'm not gonna tell his whole story because I don't got permission to, but something happened to him. He ended up having to move away. He ended up going to rehab, and then he got clean. But in the process of getting clean, he put on all this weight. Because E.T. was like 28 years old at the time. He was like 25, 28 years old, and within that age range, and he weighed less than I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was 17, 16 at this time, whatever. But it really just shows like you change a person's environment and you get them into a space where they can actually focus on their health and well-being, and then you realize like I was part of doing him a disservice. You know what I mean? And now like I won't even invite him to none of the venues, and it's simply because I know there's gonna be alcohol around, and I don't want to be like aiding in that. So something that we always found as fun and entertaining, you know what I mean? It was to his detriment. Now he's better, but you know what I'm saying? We also gotta be mindful of that, like you said, like how we got the crazy aunt, crazy uncle, and nobody really fuck with him, but really they really needed help at that time.
Exactly.
So why is this a focus for you now? Like are you trying to take this somewhere where it's like your advocacy for mental health in the Black and brown community?
At some point in time when I got more of a thought of where and how to go with it, but yeah, because like there's nothing wrong with it. Like there's a lot of people that I've spoken with that'll talk to me about it because now they know, but won't tell nobody. You know, don't tell nobody, bro. But yeah, I'm going through the same shit.
And that's fucked up. Especially, it's probably a man that you're talking to, right? Mm-hmm. We're all like raised in a similar way. I realize this. It don't matter who you talk, what type of Black person you talk to. If they from the United States, 9 times out of 10, and they Black, you guys had a similar upbringing. Like, you know what I mean? You probably heard the same shit right before you walked into a store with your mom. Don't ask for shit. You ain't getting shit. Don't touch shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was like a whole list before you even walk into a store. I've said that to multiple people I didn't know, and they all agree with that shit.
Would another issue be, a lot of us tend to think you born with shit, so I wasn't born with none, so I'm cool. Nah, shit, something major, something that isn't major to you. Like, we grew up around different type of shit, so we might hear gunshots and be like, damn, oh, he got shot over there, all right. Somebody else, that might fuck their whole life up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it could come at any fucking moment.
You never know what's gonna stick and what's gonna be that factor in your life to really throw shit off the wagon. You know what I mean? And knock shit off course. As crazy as that sounds, that was actually really fucking normal.
Yeah, like
that was really fucking normal. I remember this one time me and Diana was walking down Hamilton, and we're on 11th and Hamilton, walking towards the library, and all you hear is pop, pop, pop. Me naturally just responding, I grabbed Diana and I start running, and she's like throwing her weight back to not be dragged. And I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, those are gunshots. She's like, how do you know that? I know, like, get the fuck off the block. You know what I mean? Them shits don't got names. And for her, that was the first time she's ever like had to experience something, and that fucked her up for a while. Like she didn't feel comfortable walking on Hamilton for like, I would say probably a year. Where, you know what I mean? And then that was like her driving force to get in a car very fast. Like she didn't want to be in that scenario again.
And a lot of people, I seen this other review where they said majority of people that came from a hood or any type of street life don't even realize they have a form of PTSD, bro. If there's anything that makes you feel away or make you feel that unease when you're there, that's a mild form of it, bro.
Yeah, that's a form of trauma. Yeah. And the most fucked up part is we don't recognize it as that. And we also, even when we recognize it in other people, we don't mention it, we don't talk about it. And I think that's the biggest hindrance on the Black community, especially Black men. I can't speak for Black women, that because they got a story I just know nothing about. You know what I mean? I could try to tell it from the eyes of my mom or my sister, but I probably still wouldn't even be doing it justice. But for Black men, we're like programmed from children to not show emotion when we're having emotions. You know what I mean? I think that's the worst thing we could do as black men is to continue that pattern of, yo, bro, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that shit. Suck that shit up.
And I ain't shitting on nobody else, but literally, like, let's talk about the mixed shit. So now, being a mixed Black man, a lot of people wouldn't even notice that I'm a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So due to this, I ain't white enough on my white side. I don't speak Spanish. I ain't Spanish enough. You know what I mean?
It's this whole community of
Yeah.
a bunch of nomads. That's
Yep.
that's what it is. Cause I've been there, bro. Where it's like, you're not a Rodriguez. I'm like, my fucking last name is Rodriguez, bro.
Yeah.
I went to a Spanish spot like a month ago. I probably already told this story, but I placed the order ahead.
Yeah.
Show up, Erik Rodriguez here to pick up. Rodriguez? You don't look like no Rodriguez. That's my last name. You look like a Jackson.
That's
Or
deep.
Johnson. She said some shit like Jackson or Johnson. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you picked the most stereotypical fucking black name because I walked in. I know Dominican's darker than me. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But like, this is shit, like, even though she probably wasn't trying to be belligerent, that shit was fucking ignorant.
Yeah.
I like imagine me telling somebody you're not Spanish, you don't look Spanish. What the fuck is Spanish enough? What's
And
black enough?
that's tackling that because Spanish culture and black culture coincides a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm speaking with the mental health, it goes both ways because we got a lot of similarities. We might be like, damn, mom, I think something's wrong. You all right. Go to the doctors or go, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it ain't.
everybody's kind of bypassing the fact that like we're having real life issues here. And everybody goes through it. We like this is part of life. We're gonna have ups and downs. The important part is, do we got motherfuckers there that are willing to understand where we're coming from? And even if they can't understand, are motherfuckers willing to actually listen? I think that's the biggest part. I don't think we listen enough as a community.
And tackle back what you was asking earlier about my lady. It's gonna tackle to this. That's kind of how we was just talking on some homie shit at first, but she kind of had the same shit. She been through depression. She been through anxiety. She been through all the type of shit. So it's kind of someone to understand and walk me through this shit. Cause growing up, I just looked at it and niggas be like, yo, big man crazy as shit. That's it. Don't fuck with me. Big man crazy.
Was talking to her like that was like the first time that you felt like you can actually like be transparent and actually relate to her and actually let out and vent to her? That was the first time for you doing that?
Yeah, most of my past relationships, they either was in love with Sleepy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was in love with Lathia. They was in love with Sleepy or Big Man or something like that. Like not
The egos.
Yeah, not just me being myself and not being like, oh, that shit's soft. We don't want to talk about that emotional shit. Like
That's what a good woman will do, bro. They'll provide the space for you to be able to talk about all the things that you never have the opportunity to talk about. I'll tell you, the only person on this planet, not even my mama, and I love my mom, the only person on this planet that truly knows me is Diana. That's the only person. And I kind of like it that way as well. Like, and that's no slight to like people that I trust with my life. I trust my mom with my life, just as y'all probably do too. But I think there's parts of me that's so complex that she just wouldn't be able to understand, especially because she's the one who raised me. So it's like, where's this coming from? How'd you get there? And I'm not necessarily sure anybody else really cared because nobody else asked but Diana.
And as your girl, you could tell her something and she gonna listen. Opposed of if you telling a story that's actually about your mom, she might just be like, "Well, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
I ain't see it
she
like
might
that."
Be defensive about it.
So,
And I've done that. I've
Yeah.
done that. I remember one time I told this story about my mom. I got suspended from school, and my mom was talking to some aunt, and my mom put me on the phone. She's like, "When I come down here, I'm gonna whoop your ass." I didn't even know who I was talking to. Like, this is black people shit. Like, you get your ass whooped by your whole family. Like, no lie. I seen like 2 months went down the line. The woman pops up, and I get my ass whooped. And by this point, I don't even know why I'm getting my ass whooped, and I don't even know who's whooping my ass. And I told my mom that, and my mom didn't say anything to me, but she got real quiet. And like maybe like 30 minutes after the story, I went home, and my sister called me the next day. She's like, "Yo, you got me cursed out." I'm like, "Why I get you cursed out?" She's like, that story you told about mom, that shit pissed her off. I was like, "Well, why she call you and not me?" She's like, "I don't know." And so I called my mom and I'm like, "Yo, why you yell at Erica? Why didn't you call me?" She's like, "I couldn't yell at you because I had already hurt you, and I'm sorry for that. But I didn't know how to take it because you were talking about me, and I felt embarrassed." So like now we're having an adult conversation about some traumatic shit from my childhood, and now she's getting an like. So that's also another reason why I don't always tell people things, because it's like I can work through it by talking to my wife about it, opposed to breaking my mom down and making her feel like she didn't do a good job. Because sometimes it do that.
I learned how to get away from pride, but as a man, I still got it a little bit. So
I think
my
you
number
need to.
my number one thing is, you can talk to your girl. I can talk to my girl. I could even my nana's.
Grandmothers are the realest.
Yeah.
RP to mom.
RP,
Grandmothers are the realest, man.
But you got other people that they listen. As soon as the time come, they throwing that shit right back at you. oh, you only acting like this because your father left. You be like, damn, bro.
Damn, bro, I told you that shit. You gonna spit in my face, motherfucker? You know, and that's always the danger too of being vulnerable. And I think slowly with conversations like this, I think slowly the culture will shift, honestly. Because I've noticed, like, when I was a child, I didn't know, even when I was a teenager, even young adult, 10 years ago, I didn't hear the words mental health being thrown around, or, you know what I'm saying, like, having therapists weren't as accessible as they are now, you know what I mean? You can get on your phone, I get ads all the time of the site called Help, or I forget the other one, but you can literally get therapists on your phone, you know what I mean? And we have the world at our fingertips now, which is something that we didn't have. Back in the day, I wasn't going to my mom and be like, hey, I need somebody to talk to. Like, I wasn't going to no guidance counselor. That shit was like, you going to school and you telling my business? You know what I'm saying? So, like, but now there's a lot of places that will give people, and not only men, a safe space to open up about certain shit.
And the transition with this, that's what kind of made my music a little different now. Because now, before, I was like, all right, I'm just going to give them what they know of me. Now, I feel to make your best music is being vulnerable, bro. And I believe in one of your podcasts you was talking about that. Being vulnerable, like, you got to give yourself, bro. Like, the good, the bad, the ugly, and they're going to feel it.
They're either going to feel it or they're not.
Yeah.
But it's going to clear room for the motherfuckers that are supposed to hear what you have to say. And, bro, that's why I do this show. I'll be 100% honest. On the actual podcast, I'll maybe get like 10, 15 listens to, like full listens to of the actual podcast. But I'm like, yo, 10 to 15 people took the time to listen to what we had to say. One day, the right motherfucker's gonna hear it, you know what I mean, and wanna come along, you know what I mean? Staff is a great example. You're a great example where, like, you heard something and you're like, you know what, I wanna be a part of this. And it's just so motherfuckers have that platform to come up here and tell their story, be vulnerable, and have a space where it's like, I'm not sitting here and I'm not judging you about anything, because at the end of the day, you had to go through what you had to go through to be sitting at this table with me right now. You know what I mean? And that speaks for itself, because no matter what life throws, you managed to climb back out the hole.
And just like you said, it could be 10 people, but 1 or 2 of those could have been going through some shit that day, bro. And they'd be like, damn, like.
And this is exactly what they needed to hear.
Exactly.
You know? And there's people that's close to you that wouldn't feel comfortable talking about anything, but because you sitting up here, they're gonna be more willing to now. They're gonna be like, you know what? I could do some shit like that. You know, this looks like an environment where I could give people a little piece of myself that they don't see on social media, that they don't see, like, from my music videos, whatever. And that's what I want to provide for people. You know, so.
And that's why I switched to, like, my shit is more like, I still got shit when I'm rapping, but my shit is more like on some R&B rap shit now. Because I look at it like, just like I said, there's certain people, they be too, especially that came from street shit, be too tough to talk about, like, damn, that bitch broke my heart.
Yeah.
Like, damn, my mom did this, my dad did that. Like, they be too tough for that. So they just want to talk about trapping and all the other shit. Like,
yo, that's how Rod Wave got a whole lane. He got a whole lane that he sits in right by himself, because that's all he talk. That's all he know is his pain. You know what I mean? And that shit resonates with people, because we all going through something. But I want to take a little detour. The people came here to hear you rap, bro. So I'm gonna need that freestyle. We're over the hour. We're at an hour 8 minutes. The conversation's been great.
Yeah.
So let's hear the freestyle, dog. Let's let this shit rip. My man about to rap for y'all. Make sure y'all follow
Lathia Marquez.
Lathia Marquez. We're gonna make sure that he's on he's gonna be tagging all the videos for this. So make sure y'all go follow. Make sure you follow my man Staffa. Shout it out, because I don't want to put the wrong word in front of it. It's Valley Click Media. I don't know why Click keeps coming first, dog. Right. You might have to switch it. One of the two.
VCM.
Yeah, Valley Click Media. Make sure you follow Valley Click Media. Nothing's possible without this. My man showed up with a bunch of cameras, interfaces today, bunch of lights, you know what I mean? So there's a whole lot of people being involved in this operation to make all this shit go. So
hey, before the rapping thing, man, we gotta get back to one thing that you posed. This funny but embarrassing story.
Oh,
that.
Have you thought about the funny but embarrassing story?
You can get back to it.
It's kind of a little ratchet, but I mean, like, fucking. It's my guy too. I ain't gonna put him out there, but me and my guy had got into it on some family shit. We mixing.
Okay.
It was 2 rounds though, but the first jump, he like. I'm doing my thing. I'm like, man, I got this. So he's like, nah, bro, we gotta go outside. So I'm like, this shit's sweet. The other day at Rob from that scenario, that shows you how young we were. I seen some nigga fighting like this. I said, bro, I got this. I'm trying to dip. Bro, that was the worst mistake I made in my fucking life, bro. Bro, I'm like this. I got put like this. I'm like, damn, you supposed to be my man's, boy.
My man folded you up in the lawn chair.
I said, bro, I ain't never doing that shit again.
Yeah, yo, some niggas is disrespectful with that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, all right, this nigga on some Mayweather shit. I said, that shit was sweet in the crib. I said, I got this. Man, I didn't get it. I didn't have it. I got
it. Was some more steak.
Yeah, that shit had me like, I did the, what's that shit, the death drop.
Yo, everybody takes an L every once in a while. And be grateful that it was family.
Yeah.
I had uncles that used to make me and my cousins do that fight, just a bare knuckle, just to prepare us for the world. I remember I was fighting my cousin Neek, and we was outside. We did 2 rounds too, and I called him. And I caught him at his nose. He started leaking. He started crying. That was the end of that. And then his dad, I think it was his dad or my uncle, he's like, yo, go get your nose cleaned up. Get your ass back out here. So now when he comes back out, he's fighting angry. This nigga's like super Saiyan. But I got him the first time. So I'm fucking throwing.
We get in our head. We like, oh, this shit's sweet.
He's starting to feel like it's sweet. Bro, I went like this. I ducked. I went to throw. He came with a 2-piece. I was only expecting 1. And bro, he caught me, punched me in my mouth, bro. And it felt like my mouth just turned into squares, dog. Like my shit just started leaking. I was like, ah! My mouth bleeding, spitting blood everywhere. I was like, I don't want to fight no more. Yo, that shit was humbling, bro. Shit was humbling. But yo, I appreciate the story, dog. Said my man had me like this. He looked like a GTA sketch where after you kill somebody, the police show up. Shit, fuck, man. All right, so let's hear this shit. My man, Lathia about to spit for y'all. Here we go.
Look.
Make sure you talk right into the mic.
All right. I don't care what a hater say. Get the hate on a day-to-day. Need a house of like 8 sections cause a nigga grew up on a Section 8. I ain't have a crib till I was 21. Slept on the floor till I was 17. Y'all do the math when I was upstate. That bed felt so heavenly. Was charging the adult. Now I'm charging it off. Yeah. I went up a BG. Then I came on a boss. Yeah. Y'all niggas is lame. Big beast of the gang. Yeah. You snatching my chain. It's like snorting some flame. Yeah. I ain't the hardest nigga, but I'm far from pushing. Next mixtape should be bought with Dush. Nah, I ain't crip, but we rolling up just like Africa. You know, I brought the kush. Now it's back to the rim. And it's pouring. Yeah. And it get like the whale. Yeah, it's foreign. Yeah. When she sucking the dick, make it sound like she snoring. Ooh. Yeah. Give a fuck about a nigga. Give a fuck about a bitch. Yeah. Only got me 2 friends, and that's pull-ups and dips. Nigga.
That's a fact. He says pull-ups and dips. Hey. Yo, make sure y'all follow. You mind if I spit one?
Go ahead, bro. Yeah, right. Definitely.
Nigga said, hey, bro. I'm gonna spit some shit I already released. All right. It's never fair when I jump on a beat like this. It's never fair when they creep, cause they always miss. You got the wheels, but you lack the drive. They told me send my feelings out loud, but it's packed aside. Off to let the pen bleed. My world is filled with envy. And when then you tempt me, oh shit. You know, I'm gonna read it. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna read it. All right. She told me say my feelings out loud, but it's packed aside. I often let the pen bleed. My world is filled with envy. And when you at my mercy, just remember that you tempt me. It's crazy. I flew across oceans. It's hard to believe. It felt like yesterday had nothing to eat. But now I'm picky with beef. That's what they mean when they tell you to level up. For those that grew, know there's plenty that rebel was. Your boy ain't got it today, dog. I ain't got it today.
I know my boy got it, though.
Hey, man. Yo, listen, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys watching the show. I ain't got it today. But my man Sleep came up here and killed shit. Yo, man, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for all the comments. I apologize. We didn't get to none of them. Such a dope conversation with a dope individual. My man came from a whole lot of nothing, and he's sitting here today stronger than ever. And if for anybody watching this show, that's what this shit's all about. It's about not how hard you fall, but the comeback. That's what it's all about. It's about the comeback. You got anything you want to say for your final words?
For real, it's cliche, but like at the end of the day, just keep pushing. People think it's gonna get easy, period. No, it's always gonna be the fuck hard. It's always gonna be setbacks, but just keep fighting and pushing. That's it.
Hey man, don't quit. Thank you for being
God,
up
no
here.
problem, man.
Staffa, thank you for making all this shit happen along with
Appreciate
me, man.
you, Brody.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching the show. You guys are gonna be able to see this episode in a couple days, so make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you follow us. Valley Click Media, Lathia Marquez.
Lathia Marquez.
Lathia Marquez. I'm so not used to it, man.
Yeah.
I'm so not used to the fucking last name,
Before
dog.
we hop off, you said that so you releasing music soon, you dropping some music soon. You already have some music attached to the back.
Yeah, shout
Yes.
yourself out.
Specific platform that you have all your stuff on. You can find it everywhere. I'm gonna definitely link everything up, but I just want you to go ahead.
At the moment, I'm still working on that, but within a couple weeks, it'll be anywhere you're gonna want to find it at.
Hey.
Yeah, the first track I'm about to work on is called Directions. It's like more R&B, rap type shit, and then
Go get your vibe on.
August 24th, me and my cousin Fetty the Don gonna shoot a video for a track I'm featuring on his EP.
Shout out Fetty.
And then the last thing is you said that you had a song that you're gonna be sending me that we're gonna be playing at the end of this show over here.
Yes.
Give a little bit of insight as to
It's gonna be the outro for this episode.
All right,
how that developed.
That's the song I was telling you about, Directions. It's basically like what a man go through when you're trying to fight for a relationship you thought was it, but like letting the world know, like, damn, like coming from where I came from, I could be heartbroken too. Like I gave my all, you really gave nothing. It's called Directions in parentheses, Mr. Aiko.
Hey. Alright, so make sure y'all stay on the lookout. Like I said, that song will be the outro for this episode. So make sure y'all follow my man. Make sure y'all follow Valley Click Media. Make sure y'all share this episode. Make sure y'all follow the podcast. We got more dope shit on the way with more dope individuals. And yo, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you still amongst the stars. Peace.
I told her to stop, I don't want her to go. I keep seeing these signs everywhere on the road. I'm as mellow as yellow, get green when I see her. Need me some tussin', I got me a fever. Baby, my baby, I don't wanna need you. Keep driving on track like I got me a way.